America's top travel magazine named Charleston the best city in the nation, so it's no secret that people are flocking here. But people from all over the world come to MUSC for our unparalleled expertise year after year. Maybe that's why so many national organizations invest in our breakthroughs and why so many of the world's top doctors continue to join us. So while Charleston's magnetic draw may not surprise you, we wanted to remind you about ours. MUSC, changing what's possible.
Have given their fans a whole bunch to worry about over the second half of the season through a terrible first half. But these teams have really pulled it together when the time has mattered. And you talk about Pittsburgh. Since Coach Kadich took over earlier on in the season, they've been one of the hottest teams, like you said, Andrew. And then the Battery just as well, coming off of a loss in Sacramento, but looking to get back to their winning ways here at home.
8 games unbeaten into that game in Sacramento, second game of a 2-match road trip. I think if you'd have said to Coach Anhauser before the trip, 3 points from the 2 games, 3 out of the 6, he'd have bitten your arm off and gone for that. And it has put the Battery into a good position, 5th now in the USL Pro standings. A win secures postseason football for the Charleston Battery again, which is something we've become accustomed to here. I'm pleased to say. Charleston can finish no higher than 5th, though. 4th place is out of reach now that LA Galaxy 2 have got the 3 points the other night in their most recent game. All right, we are going to go to break, Dane. When we come back, we'll have the first half kickoff here from Blackboard Stadium. It's the Charleston Battery versus Pittsburgh Riverhounds, live USL Pro Soccer for you tonight. Coming up next on ESPN Radio, 9:10 a.m. Perfect. I got programming again. Is this the last break, Joe? Melissa? Is this the final break? Ad. Perfect. Thank you, sir. And welcome back to Blackboard Stadium. We are right at kickoff. It's the Battery versus Pittsburgh Riverhounds, live here for your listening pleasure on ESPN Radio 910 AM. I'd like to welcome in our YouTube viewers as well as we stream this game live. And while I have a second, let me run through the required reads. USLProSoccer.com, scores, stats, news and more exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. Visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USLPro. Make sure to follow at USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates. And don't forget, Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike Soccer information. And of course, every USL Pro regular season and playoff game streams live this year on YouTube. Features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. Subscribe for free to the Battery and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds YouTube channel today. Battery versus Pittsburgh. Let's quickly run through the lineups before we get underway. Our referee tonight is Mr. Patrick O'Brien. Pittsburgh start with Hunter Gilstrap in goal, Dahlman, Ribeiro, Arena, and Flunder the back four. Vincent, Kerr, Earls, and Cabrillo in the midfield. Green, Mike Green, and Jose Angulo up front tonight for your Pittsburgh Riverhounds. The Battery go with Additional Cooper in goal, Griffith, Falvey, Mueller, and John Wilson. The back four, Wilson back into the lineup after missing the last game in Sacramento. In the midfield, Sanyang, Portillo, Prince, and Van Schaik, with Jose Cuevas playing in behind Dane Kelly. It's 88 degrees here in Charleston. We've got 59% humidity for us round here. That's pretty nice weather, and no chance of rain. We did have a shower earlier in the day, but there shouldn't be anything to prevent this game from finishing tonight. And let's see, Patrick O'Brien is our referee. The Battery are in the red tonight, black shorts, black socks, going from left to right. And Charleston will have the ball once Mr. O'Brien gets us underway. There's the whistle, and away we go. Cuevas on the ground to Griffith. And the Battery immediately play it long, looking for the run of Kelly. Headed away by Pittsburgh. There to be one in the midfield. And Pittsburgh get it back and get it out to this near side. And if you're wondering why the Battery are wearing the red tonight, you're asking the wrong person. I fully expected them to be in the black and yellow. I'm assuming it's because Pittsburgh didn't bring a change of kit, and the yellow would have clashed. But usually, of course, it's the away team that changes. So we'll get to the bottom of that as Cuevas tries to play in Dane Kelly. Kelly gives chase, but Pittsburgh gather up the loose ball midway up inside the half on the far side. We've played a minute here at Blackboard Stadium. They're still piling in over there in the east stands. There's a big line outside the window over there, early going here at the board.
Andrew, it's an interesting 11 for Coach Anhauser starting off this match. It's quite defensive. If you look in the middle, you've got Portillo, you've got Van Schaik, and you've got Amadou Sanyang. So three guys in the middle who like to hold up things defensively. Van Schaik will be asked to push a little wider as Portillo drops into the middle, but certainly caution perhaps being used by Coach Anhauser. Doesn't want to risk too many numbers up front, especially with somebody as pacey as Dane Kelly.
Well, you saw the pace there, and he got around the last Pittsburgh defender who brought him down. Kelly fouled, and it's an early booking from Patrick O'Brien. Well, how about a last chance, sir? 21. Who was that? It's Anthony Arena. First foul of the game, and he's in the book.
Anthony Arena's got to be careful right there. He knows he's a vital part of this back line for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, and now he's going to have to walk on eggshells the next 88 minutes.
This is a chance for the Battery with Cuevas and Van Schaik over it. Usually Coach Anhauser likes an in-swinger from this sort of position.
Well, they'll be sniffing out Colin Falvey in the box. You got to think.
He scored a cracker midweek from a set piece in Sacramento, volleying at home, Colin Falvey.
And he's got a knack for scoring big goals in big games. We'll see how it goes. You know, Jared Van Schaik will be targeting him.
Van Schaik then with the free kick for the Battery. With that left foot. And he spins it in. Good area. It's headed away by Pittsburgh and behind for a corner kick.
Well, that
good,
one,
good defending that.
excuse me, Andrew, that one was shallow. It was headed towards the front post. Zach Prince, the intended target, just couldn't quite get ahead to it.
Cuevas then with a corner for Charleston from this near side. It'll be an outswinger from the Battery midfielder. Whipped in at the near post. Kelly was the closest. He missed connection. Cuevas again working against the left fullback. Tried the nutmeg, it didn't come off. And the Battery will retrieve possession wide on the far side. Here comes the veteran Wilson. Still John Wilson. Cuts back onto his right foot, top of the 18. Turns again, he still has possession, Wilson. And now he clips it into the middle. It's flat and headed clear. Cuevas first to the loose ball, to Portillo. Tries to slot it into the gap. Pops back out to Portillo. On the ground to Sanyang. Wide to Cuevas. Good spell of pressure this from the Battery. It's Cuevas, wide on the far side. Waiting for the run of Van Schaik, who's in behind here to the byline. Looks up, sets it across. Away by Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and that was just telegraphed, wasn't it? Van Schaik gets to the end line, and then two Battery players drop back towards the penalty spot, and it was sniffed out easily by Pittsburgh, and now an injury to Kerr.
It was Kerr who collided with Wilson. Let's hope Kerr's okay. Some good football from Charleston. That final ball, though, a killer ball, just lacking.
Charleston Battery have come out, and they seem to be the one pressing the issue, trying to create chances, go up early. Of course, it was Charleston who went down early in the last game against Sacramento and struggled to get back. Finally got one back from Colin Falvey quickly, actually, and couldn't quite keep control of the game. Sacramento did play well in that midweek match, though.
I thought Sacramento were very good and probably good for the points. The Battery were right in the game, and there was probably a 15-minute spell in the second half where they needed to find that tying goal. They didn't, and in the end it was Sacramento who scored a third and put the points safely away. Sacramento, of course, still in with a shout to win the league. They could finish first above Orlando if the results go their way. Looks like he's receiving a bit of treatment here, Kerr. Maybe he got a little blow, and maybe a little bit of blood out there. Again, let's hope he's okay. He'll have to come off having received treatment. Coach Katic is up off the bench looking concerned. As well he might be. 6 minutes in, Charleston Battery 0, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0. A little break in play here while Kerr receives treatment. Off he trots now, and I'm sure the Battery here will give possession back to Hunter Gilstrap, the former College of Charleston man, in goal tonight for Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Looks like his nose, doesn't it? It just got caught.
Andrew, you're talking about how tight things are, and just to give you an example of that, Pittsburgh started this weekend before Friday, the game in Charlotte, in 11th place, and now they sit at 8th, and then just one more win could put that tied with the Battery. So you just never know. One win could propel you up the ladder, and one loss or one draw, it could drop you down into the depths. So every second, every point, and every result counting towards this point of the season.
Here come Pittsburgh now on this near side with Angulo. He's the real danger man. He does well there as he forces the challenge from Quinton Griffith. It'll be a corner kick now for Pittsburgh. They'll fancy their chances from the set pieces. Who's coming down here to take it? Is it Dahlman?
It is.
So Matt Dahlman across to take it on this near side. Right-footed in-swinger. Everybody back defending for the Battery. Here comes the delivery. Swept in. Good header away by Prince. Good touch from Cuevas for Kelly. Oh, he got caught.
And now what will the questions coming from the referee? Certainly Charleston asking questions.
Well, it was from behind, wasn't it? And he's saying he got the ball. The referee had a great view. Rob Vincent, the player. Kelly's okay, but if that's not a booking, why would the other one be a booking?
Certainly, and Kelly, the recipient of both of them, not sure how much was quite in that challenge right there. Kelly's certainly making the most of it, perhaps, and now 2 bookings drawn out of the pocket of the man in the middle.
The problem for Kelly there is he can't really defend himself because the challenge is coming in from behind. And down he goes, and there's the yellow card. So 2 bookings, you're right, in 8 minutes. 8 minutes in, no score. It's Prince for the battery, drives that in near post, good ball, away by Pittsburgh, throw in Charleston.
Yeah, and it was Arena who had to be there. It was a good ball sent in from Zach Prince, early, low, driven.
There's the throw in to Kelly, holds it up, waits for some help. Cuevas and Prince conspire, but they do to lose it, but they keep possession. It's Portillo, finds Cuevas. Cuevas curls one into a good area. It bounces in the 18-yard box. Gilstrap will pick it up.
And it's a good idea from Cuevas. The run was just a bit delayed by Jared Van Schaik, who likes to play around the box. He can get in and use his head, but he's a very tactical, very technical player.
Long ball out from Gilstrap. Falvey wins the first header. Or Mueller, I think it was, who got his head to it. Mueller preferred tonight to Sean Ferguson. Tactical decision there from Coach Mike Anhauser and Troy Lesane, his assistant, as Gilstrap rolls it on the ground out to the right side. Pittsburgh with possession. It was a bright start from the battery, but Pittsburgh have weathered the storm. Back it goes to the goalkeeper from Arena. They're going to try and play their way out here. Cuevas pressures, and it's a long ball out in the end from Gilstrap. Little slip header on. Wilson in with the tackle. He's fouled as he goes to ground. Free kick Charleston, and Falvey gets it going very quickly. He wants to keep the home side on the front foot here.
Well, you got to think, if you're Nico Katic and the rest of the Riverhounds, you want to get a goal early. You want to press, not just because it would be good for today, but you got to think about last night too. They did have a game over the, last night within the 24 hours, had a road trip down here to Charleston. So this is potentially a tired team late into the season, and a goal early on that they could cushion and try to defend would certainly help them out.
Here goes Griffith right through the middle. He's having a go at them. He's around the last defender, squares it across. There's no one there. Good work from Quinton Griffith. The final cross was a little high, and it's all the way over for a throw-in on the far side for Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Well, it seemed like he just waited for a Pittsburgh defender to step up at him, and when it never came, he took himself right to the end line, had a great cross in. Van Schaik was there charging into the box, but just too quick was the pass from Griffith.
Throw in now for Pittsburgh, midway up inside the half. It's been a lively first 10 minutes, no goals. Charleston Battery 0, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0.
He's only got 2 assists, Griffith, this season, but man, he has been so impactful up this right line, right wing, and he's done wonders over here, especially setting up some of the forwards, Dane Kelly, Aviel Cordovez.
Van Schaik controls it somehow on the far side, goes to ground, keeps possession alive for the battery. It's Wilson, back to the skipper, Colin Falvey, with his new short haircut. Must have got that after the West Coast trip. And Griffith fancies it, doesn't it, down its near side. They can't stop him. Here he comes again. Still Griffith. Now they're standing off him. Looks for some movement. It's with Dane Kelly, who turns back to the halfway line to Falvey.
Seems like Griffith might really be in the mood tonight, huh?
Miroslav Cabrillo, he's just not going to be able to stop Griffith when it comes out to this near side. He's going to have to get tight on him and prevent him from making those runs. The ball drops behind Dane Kelly. That will be a throw-in for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, level with the 18-yard box on this near side. We're not quite in the USL Pro playoff, but we're almost there.
Well, both these teams have been playing essential playoff matches, or at least they had that sort of feeling and that sort of atmosphere, didn't they, for the last month or two.
Lovely tackle there as Sanyang dispossesses Angulo. Charleston have it in the midfield with Amadou Sanyang. Oh, he drives it straight down the middle. It's given away. Angulo turns, slots it to the right. Here come the Riverhounds. The ball chipped forward. Wilson, he's going to have to play that one away. Van Schaik controls. Squares it inside to Sanyang. Cuevas goes backwards now to John Wilson. Sanyang again, and all the way back to Mueller. Pittsburgh holding midway up inside the battery half. Here's Griffith. Rolls it square to Justin Portillo, who just has a little look forward. Comes back outside to Griffith.
Look at Kadich just directing traffic over here from his touchline.
Kelly controls it, gets knocked down. The referee says get up, and Pittsburgh will send it all the way back to the goalkeeper.
Maybe the man in the middle thinking, hey, I gave you a couple of those already. Time to start staying on your feet.
Pittsburgh chested out to the far side. Long ball forward. Mueller underneath it. He's beaten in the air, and Griffith is going to have to deal with this. He turns away with possession. He shows a lot of that to the Pittsburgh midfielder Kerr, but gets away with it. Here's Prince at the halfway line. Now Portillo, good first touch. Can he play it in for Kelly? Kelly running at the fullback. Waits for the movement, comes inside. It's Kelly who is going to be pulled back here. What is that for?
Well, it's a silly little pick play by Zach Prince, who, as Kelly's coming in, just gives a little bump to Flunder, and it's not the smartest decision by a veteran for this Charleston Battery squad.
Well, Kelly's making inroads to go to goal. He could have potentially have had a shot, and you're absolutely right. That's a strange one. Zach Prince, who just served a 2-game suspension for yellow card accumulation.
Well, he's come this far, so he's not going to change his ways at this point in the season.
I guess not. It's Sanyang for the Battery. Lovely play. He finds Portillo. Up it goes to Prince. Prince back to Portillo. Trying to play it on the ground to Kelly. Kelly controls. Finds Prince. Back it comes to the right side. It's Quinton Griffith. Cuts inside. Cabrillo.
Already.
And forced back to Falvey. That's better from Cabrillo, though.
Already, though, it's Pittsburgh doing a lot of chasing. Charleston enjoying possession, and usually you see Charleston, as they came out early in this game, very direct, but now they've settled in. They're knocking the ball around. They're taking time with the ball, and just allowing Pittsburgh to maybe wear those legs down a little bit.
Well, they're not going to get too worn out from watching the Battery pass it between the two centre halves. Here's Mueller, who plays it forward, looking for the run of Cuevas, who's onside. He's around the last defender. Cuevas knocked off, though, as the ball came through. It was a good covering tackle, and it's behind for a throw-in, I think, right down by the corner flag.
And you know what? If you want to be critical, you might say he's too honest right there, Cuevas, because he does take a bump if he goes down. Perhaps he gives the referee a bit to think about, but instead tries to keep with it.
Charleston Battery throw-in. Lovely touch from Portillo. Prince with time to look up. Drills it into the back post. It's overhit the cross and out for a throw-in on the far side.
And you could just see the thought. It was Amadou Sanyang looking for his second goal against Pittsburgh this season, but too tall was the cross from Zach Prince.
It's been all Charleston for the first quarter of an hour, but nothing to show for it. 0-0 the score. Disnall Cooper, the goalkeeper, on the ground, finds Colin Falvey. Falvey level with the 18-yard box. We're live here locally on ESPN Radio 9:10 a.m. It's Quinton Griffith now towards the halfway line. Goes backwards to Falvey.
Interesting to see. I mean, Pittsburgh a couple games ago actually lost to Sacramento, I believe it was, and bounced back after going a long stretch without tasting the taste of defeat, and bounced back with 2 straight wins. And so you got to think, what's the mentality here for the Charleston Battery after their first loss in 9 games?
Well, they've come out on the front foot, haven't they? Oh, lovely ball from Portillo. Quiet. Kelly couldn't take it in stride. It was really an inviting ball forward from Portillo. Charleston still on the front foot, though, with Van Schaik. Back to Portillo at the halfway line.
He's just a magician in the middle of the field, Portillo.
Now here's Prince. Prince out to Griffith. Down the line it goes for Cuevas. Cuevas turns towards the last defender, finds Quinton Griffith on his left foot. Still Griffith. Swings it in. It's too close to the goalkeeper, and that's comfortable for Gilstrap in goal tonight for Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Well, a good bit of exchange play from Cuevas and Griffith, who really seem like they're connecting well here tonight.
Portillo rested for most of the game on Wednesday. Sanyang also fresh coming into tonight's game, as is Zach Prince. Sanyang was suspended. Prince also suspended. So some fresh legs in the midfield, and it has been a difficult week for the Battery also in terms of travel and games. Oklahoma City Sunday, Sacramento Wednesday, a red-eye flight through the night to get them home Thursday morning, and then just 1 day of training before tonight's game. Such is the life, though, in USL Pro. Here's Cuevas. Good control. Brings it wide. Through the legs of the player. Still going, and it's tackled finally to this near side. Throw in Charleston.
3, 4, 5 defenders. How many guys is it going to take to stop Cuevas along this near touchline?
It's the throw from Prince. A bit hopeful that. It's away by Pittsburgh. Griffith helps it back to Falvey, who controls on with his midriff. And finds Cuevas. Cuevas allowed to turn. He gets it wide to Dane Kelly, using acres of space to the byline. Kelly looks up. Can he find a teammate? He can. It's Prince. Prince now chips to the back post. Portillo beaten in the air. Wilson first to the loose ball. Headed forward. Oh, the referee got in the way. And finally, Pittsburgh should get it clear here. And they smack it away with Rob Vincent out to the far side. Good ball that out of the back. Here come Pittsburgh now across the halfway line. 19 minutes in, no score. Coach Katic gesticulating from this near touchline. This game coming to you live locally on ESPN Radio, 9:10 a.m. It's Kerr on the ball.
It's all very compact from Charleston. You got Kelly up behind the ball, but everybody else is defending. Cuevas even is behind the ball, and not much space for Pittsburgh to move around.
Yeah, they're very compact, the battery. Pittsburgh with possession here. It's been a rare spell of possession this. Earls plays it forward. That's a good ball. Maybe he can work well. He just ran into the battery player, and Charleston can counter-attack now with Cuevas. He's got Kelly ahead of him. On the ground it goes, looking for Kelly. Gets to the ball first. Play on, says the referee. There wasn't enough for a foul. Pittsburgh have it back with the veteran, Danny Earls.
Well, the Riverhounds, they are keeping numbers back. They know Charleston is a very potent counter-attacking team. So even when they do have a chance to get some numbers into the box, they want to keep 3, 4, or 5 guys back just to keep Dane Kelly within an arm's reach.
Mueller with the clearance. It'll be a throw-in for Pittsburgh. It's Danny Earls, the former Rochester man. Goes inside now to Vincent. Plays it up the middle, and there's a strike from distance. I'll tell you what, he hit that quite well. It finishes over the bar, no real problems, but nice contact on that shot from Rob Vincent.
And you know what? For a team that hasn't seen much at goal, why not have a crack if you've got that sort of charge in that right foot of yours?
Griffith is going to step forward with possession here. Left-footed ball over the top, looking for Kelly to run on. Kelly will give chase. It's going to come through to the keeper, who has to punt it clear under a bit of pressure. Charleston maintain possession with Portillo. Gets it wide to Prince. Prince sends it across the middle, looking for Kelly. Can't get the ball down to get a shot away, and Pittsburgh pump it clear.
Yeah, and it did just bounce, a fortuitous bounce into Kelly. Maybe wasn't ready for it, but Gilstrap's got to be careful in the back. He sort of misjudged the timing of that and almost left himself out to dry.
Well, Kelly's pace, it will cause teams problems when it goes over the top, as we saw then. Gilstrap did just enough. Here's Justin Portillo. Back it goes to Taylor Mueller. 21 minutes in, no score at Blackboard Stadium. Bit loose that from Mueller, but the battery recover possession, and it finds its way out to Quinton Griffith. He's got Cabrillo inside him, looking for the 1-2, the give and go with Cuevas, who turns inside and finds Portillo. Wilson started his run down the far channel. Now here's Van Schaik. Portillo turns back towards the right flank of Quinton Griffith. Cabrillo in front of him. He's not giving him much room now after those 2 early runs forward that Griffith made. And Charleston have to play it square as Falvey goes across to Mueller. This is exactly where Pittsburgh want the battery to play it and to have possession.
Yeah, you're right about that, Andrew. No real threat coming in. Oftentimes, Charleston gets sucked into a pass, knocking the ball around a bit too much in the back and then just lobbing one over the top, as they might do right here. Falvey, wise decision.
On the ground there to Prince. Prince gets it to Griffith, who can open up a little bit. Thought about the early cross. Now Prince plays it forward to Cuevas, whose touch was a little heavy. Pittsburgh should clear their lines here with Earls to Kerr. Back to the top of the 18, and then all the way back to Gilstrap. He's going to have to lump it, isn't he? No, he plays it out to the right side, and Pittsburgh do a nice job of playing their way out of trouble.
Still not completely out of danger yet. That's a good ball.
Oh, it had the makings of a good ball, but it was just too heavy, wasn't it? Mueller came across, read it, and the battery have it back. midway up inside the first half now. Quarter of the game gone. 0-0 the score. Big game this tonight for both teams. Really all games at this point in the season in USL Pro, it seems like there's some sort of storyline attached to them.
Yeah, this one's the cracker of the night, though, isn't it? Heavy, heavy implications.
Rochester, Harrisburg, what time's
Sure.
that kickoff? That's a huge game.
7 o'clock, I believe. Yeah, we'll keep you posted on that, too.
Here's Mueller for the Battery. The game slowed down to walking pace. Still with Mueller. Chips forward, looking for Zach Prince. Prince heads wide to Griffith. He's been involved from the get-go, Quentin Griffith. Back inside to Jared Van Schaik. All the way back to Mueller. Well, now Wilson. Falvey's asking for it. He's going to have to go backwards to find Colin Falvey as Charleston almost lose possession. They keep it alive, though. Van Schaik gets it across to Portillo. A little bit of a gap over there on the far side. Works it into the middle. Good ball for Cuevas, who heads down, but there's no one there. Possession back with Pittsburgh. And here comes Angulo, right down the middle, running at the Battery back two. Shot from distance, that won't trouble Cooper.
Well, he doesn't have much support there, and Coach Kadich just telling him to settle down, let his support come and hold up play just a little bit, but he's the reigning USL Pro MVP. He wants to have a crack at goal, and I think he earned his right to have a few speculative efforts.
Portillo out to John Wilson on the far side. 25 minutes in, Portillo gets the return pass. Goes back to Wilson. He could probably have looked downfield there. Van Schaik now to Sanyang. On the ground, that's a good ball to Prince. Prince waits and fires it in at Cuevas. Back to the halfway line to Falvey. Charleston with possession. It's Sanyang and Falvey again. Round the outside to Griffith. Asking for the ball. Give and go with Cuevas, who misses the return pass. Throw in Pittsburgh Riverhounds. That's what it's going to take to break this team down, though, Dave.
Well, you know, Flunder's going to have to be very responsible over here. You know, you got Quentin Griffith over on the right side, so that 1-2, he can't get too tight to the right back of the Charleston Battery because he knows he's got that blistering pace that's liable to leave him in the dust.
Here's Zach Prince for Charleston. Outside of the boot, he finds Van Schaik, sets it for Portillo, who gives it away as Wilson was hoping for that ball to come to him to feet. Pittsburgh with possession back now with Mike Green. Back into the midfield, to the halfway line, played long down the middle. Angulo, lovely control. Can turn towards goal here and gets it wide. Maybe a chance for Pittsburgh to cross one in. It comes in at the near post. Not fully away yet. Good touch from, I think it was Van Schaik, to take possession for the Battery.
Yeah, it was Van Schaik, but he's also got to be a little careful right there. Lunging challenge in the box, and that could make something out of nothing right there. It worked out for the number 14, but he's got to be careful.
Pittsburgh responding well to the pressure that they've been put under, and just showing they've got a little bit of fight too, and particularly if the ball comes through to Angulo, he's got a bit of something about him, as we saw there. Dangerous moment for the Battery.
Well, that's what you want if you're a Pittsburgh fan, is Angulo centering around everything that you have in the attack.
Ball played inside here to Cabrillo. Tried the first time ball. It doesn't quite work out, and it's lifted out to this near side now to Flunder. Under no pressure. He sets it back inside to Vincent. Right-footed ball driven to the far side. Will that come down? Yes. Good weight on the pass. It's Earls now. On his left foot. Rolls it on the ground. Cabrillo leaves it for Angulo. Charleston defending tightly there. Flunder just plays it inside to Cabrillo, who holds it up, goes back to Vincent, who we know can hit it. Decides to go wide with possession now. Good spell this from Pittsburgh. 28 minutes in, no score. Kurt plays it forward, gets it back.
And at a certain point, Andrew, it just becomes almost too compact to even make runs when you're in that attacking third. You got so many bodies around there. You've got to really be devious and deceitful with those runs and with those passes.
Charleston get possession back, and they play it forward looking for Kelly, who holds it up. He gets a bit of a whack in the process. Still Kelly has possession.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy with the pass that Van Schaik leaves for him. He wants to run on, he wants to chase onto those balls, and that one was left a little behind him.
Griffith will play this down the line to Jose Cuevas. Can he play it across? It's blocked on its way through. Throw in Charleston. Quick throw taken. Griffith back to Cuevas on his right foot. Swings it into the back post. The keeper is there. He missed it. And it was Kelly who got his head on it, but no direction on the header. And it's cleared away by Pittsburgh.
Well, the mouth of goal is wide open, and Kelly maybe just thinking that one wasn't getting to him. Dropped his guard for just a second, and it was enough to let Pittsburgh off the hook.
Still Charleston with possession. It's dropped into the box, and that's comfortable for Gilstrap in goal. Rolls it out to the right side.
If you're Pittsburgh, you just want to see one chance, one shot, give you a bit of a hope, something to live by here.
Here come Pittsburgh now. Cabrillo from distance, he misses the target. Goal kick.
And that's a little better, encouraging stuff there from Kadic's side, who got some space, maybe not the best chance on goal, but hey, you got to take those shots when they're presented to you.
Quinton Griffith plays it long, looking for Kelly early. Kelly trying to get the position. It's good defending from Pittsburgh to get it away. Only as far as Prince, who lays it into Kelly, who's well offside. Free kick, Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Yeah, maybe just Zach Prince. A little rush to judgment right there. Dane Kelly didn't have the time to get back on sides and hold his run. And with a lack of options elsewhere, looked up to Kelly, who was just behind the back line. Kelly, he likes to get in off those back shoulders of the defenders, and he does have that sort of pace. So if you can time the run and the pass, it's awfully hard to defend.
Half an hour played. Charleston Battery 0, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0. Pittsburgh on the ball on this near side with Vincent, the left back. Turns it back inside. And up to the halfway line, given away, but they'll just about maintain possession. Van Schaik couldn't get there. Charleston working hard defensively as well as on the front foot at the moment, having to defend with Flunder, who rolls it back now to Kerr. Kerr on his right foot, on the ground. Plays it into the feet, but Falvey is there, just takes away possession. Here's Van Schaik. Well, there's always Kelly as an outlet, but the Battery trying to play it forward. There it is, sent forward finally from Sanyang. Van Schaik underneath it, loses possession. And Pittsburgh get it back on this near side, just outside the 18-yard box. It's Vincent to the halfway line. Angulo gives it away. Now Prince trying to stroke it forward for Kelly, who peels away from his man. Turns towards goal on the far side. Still it's Dane Kelly. Up to Cuevas, into Kelly. Kelly's in behind, saved by Hunter Gilstrap. Lovely piece of interplay, but in the end it was Gilstrap to just do enough.
Well, that is fabulous work between those two. Kelly and Cuevas have matched up beautifully all season long, and that would have been maybe the best of the bunch right there. Cuevas with a deft touch over the top. Kelly using his pace to run on. And how about Gilstrap coming off his line and making himself big?
Just about stayed on his feet there, Kelly, as he went into the box. It's that sort of inventiveness that's going to break this game open for both teams. We've seen glimpses now from Pittsburgh and from Charleston as the ball is all the way through to the goalkeeper, Additional Cooper. On the ground, he rolls it across to Falvey.
He really hasn't had to do much, Odesno Cooper, except take a couple goal kicks, deal with some pass backs, but I don't believe he's had a save to make. Just one easy one.
Griffith will switch it out to Mueller on the left side of the Battery penalty area. On the ground, it goes forward to Kelly. Kelly turns with possession. Looks for some help from the midfield. It's Van Schaik now. Out to Wilson. Wilson, first time ball to Kelly, who's in behind the defender again. Stretching into the box. Kelly stays on his feet. Looks for a teammate. It's Prince. Squares it to Cuevas. It'll drop for Cuevas, will it? Just gets the ball to Portillo! Good save, Gilstrap. Corner kick, Charleston.
Well, 2 goal-scoring opportunities and 2 miraculous saves by Gilstrap. Credit to the keeper, who has not played the lion's share of the games for this Pittsburgh team, but looking like Coach Kadich made the right decision here tonight.
Good save that from Gilstrap. Got down quickly with his feet to block the shot from Portillo. That was definitely headed in. It's going to be Cuevas from this near side. Swings it in at the near post. It was flat, the corner. It wasn't the best. Griffith challenged by Angulo. Wins the battle, gets it forward.
Well, Andrew, you just...
Cuevas onto the loose ball, drives it across the middle. Chance for the battery. Oh, good header clear from Pittsburgh. Flag stays down, but there was a high kick, was there, from Sanyang. Free kick for the Riverhounds.
Oh, and that's a great ball there from Jose Cuevas over the top. It was quick as the defense was still trying to track back and get it into their defensive shape. Cuevas with one over the top just daggered him, and Sanyang couldn't quite bring it down in time.
It needed to be hit first time, but there wouldn't have been much power on the header, would there? So it'll be a free kick now for Pittsburgh.
And you just get the feeling, Andrew, that this defense for Pittsburgh is starting to unlock a bit. They've got 11 minutes to hold off till halftime.
Good header that from Sanyang, all the way back to the goalkeeper. Gilstrap, who will be in no particular hurry. Now he just chips it forward, out to the far side. The heavy touch over there. Dahlman, it was, wasn't it? Let it under his foot, and the battery will get possession back with a throw-in now. Quickly taken. It's Amadou Sanyang. Just squares it to Falvey. Falvey on that right foot. Looking at the run of Kelly. Kelly will open his legs up now and chase this one down to the corner flag. Got a touch on it. It actually was a good touch, but the Pittsburgh player recovered position first, and the Riverhounds have it back. One back quickly by Charleston with Griffith, and into touch for a throw-in.
Angulo up top, you know he's got plenty of quality, but who is going to be the one to distribute from the middle of the park? Dahlman right now playing at right back. He's got 7 assists. He's the leading assist man for this Riverhounds team. And oof, nice little chip over the top. Cheeky stuff from Earls.
He's got some quality, Earls. We saw it there. Now here is Dahlman. Can he get forward and get this ball into the box? He plays it early. Too early, really, in the end. He was looking for Angulo, who's going to struggle with service like that tonight.
Yeah, those diagonals are always going to be tough, especially with Mueller and Colin Falvey. They're veteran defenders who certainly know how to tighten things up in the back.
Cuevas runs into trouble.
Oof.
And out to this near side.
Just when the pressure is starting to come on, that's when Pittsburgh needs to be a little more cool and calm in possession. Charleston is starting to really press that gas pedal. And oof, dangerous pass back there from Justin Portillo, who's usually pretty sure-footed, but Colin Falvey had to spare him of his blushes.
Mueller just drops that one forward. That's simple in the end for Gilstrap. Hand clap now from the coach for Pittsburgh. Katic, he's up off his bench encouraging the players. Coach Anhauser still sat down there, out of your frame.
Well, he hasn't had too much to discomfort him, has he? He's played well defensively. Charleston has had their chances, but just haven't capitalized on them.
I think he'd feel better if there was a goal, wouldn't
Sure, absolutely.
Pittsburgh, well, doing their job at the moment, defending resolutely, and there have been a couple of chances as well.
I do think, Andrew, that this will be a game of 2 halves where you will see Charleston come out and look a bit different in the second half, especially if the score remains at a scoreless draw after 1 half.
I mean, to be honest with you, you look at the standings, a point helps Charleston more than Pittsburgh, so
certainly
at some point the Riverhounds are going to have to come out and have a go. Maybe not quite yet, as Van Schaik sets it to Prince. Oh, he does well. He finds Kelly. Kelly, top of the 18, gets the shot off! 1-0.
Well, Kelly just finds himself, maybe a bit surprisingly, in loads of space over there on the left-hand side of the box. Has a couple touches, and he knows enough that he's got plenty of quality on that left foot. Gilstrap's made some beautiful saves, but nothing was saving that. Left foot, top shelf, goal number 1 for Dane Kelly here tonight, and the Cougars, you could feel it coming. Excuse me, the Battery, you could feel it coming. go up 1-0.
Yeah, it was a former Cougar, Zach Prince, who laid it in. And that's just that little bit of craft that he brings to the game, Prince. And you saw it there. He put it into a position where Kelly had something to work with. Good finish.
Oh, lovely stuff. And quick restart, perhaps. No, it's going to get taken back. But, yeah, how about the layoff from Zach Prince?
Let's see what the response is like now from Pittsburgh. 38th minute. They really need to come out here and try and find an equalizer before the break. Going to have to open up a little bit. It's Vincent. Back it goes, though. Out to the far side. Dolman plays it back in turn to Ribeiro, the former Coastal Carolina boy. Local product. Actually, it's not. That's a different Ribeiro, isn't it? As the ball played forward. Charleston defending. We'll get to that in a second. It'll be a throw in here for Pittsburgh on the far side. 39 minutes in. Charleston 1, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0. Here's Vincent. Creighton product, Ribeiro. Down the line it goes. Prince gets the tackle in. Pittsburgh trying to press the battery back here. It's Vincent on the ball. Thought about the early ball into Angulo. It comes back to him. Now he goes on the ground, lays it short. Green sweeps it out to the far side. That's a good ball. Cross comes in, blocked by John Wilson, throwing Riverhounds. They've got numbers forward here, Pittsburgh, if they can get the ball into the box. Charleston trying to prevent that. Vincent, wide to the far side. That's a nice little set back into the midfield. Little 1-2, here come the Riverhounds. Through the legs of Portillo, gets it wide. Cross comes in, it's driven in, and just too hard in the end. And Griffith can bring it away now. Slows down, looks for support. He finds the feet of Justin Portillo, who is a Coastal Carolina boy. Up it goes now to Cuevas, now Sanyang. And first time from Portillo to Mueller, just to slow it down and take the sting out a second. 5 minutes to go till the break. Nice crowd here at Blackboard Stadium tonight. A lot of energy, most of it coming from the supporter section over there on the far side.
One of the pitfalls of Charleston's season here, this campaign, has been wrapping up halves and, terrible.
That's a bit loose, but Cuevas doesn't quite have the pace. You saw his reaction, though. He knew what Gilstrap was doing. He reacted to it, but the block goes over the bar. That one could have gone anywhere.
And Ribeiro is a very lucky boy. You can never play that sort of ball back with that much ease and lax, perhaps. Gilstrap really did bail him out.
It's a natural grass surface here. It's different than the Pittsburgh pitch, which is artificial. Just always got to be careful, don't you?
Maybe your first couple touches should let you know that, not 40 minutes in.
Way to the pass wasn't quite there. Sanyang does well to win it in the midfield. Van Schaik finds Wilson, who has got a bit of space ahead of him if he fancies it. He'll slow it down, though. Looks inside to Portillo, who's been really the pivot tonight. That one is a bit loose. He apologizes to Griffith. And back it goes now to Colin Falvey. Squares it to Mueller. 42 minutes in. Charleston 1, Pittsburgh 0 the score. Van Schaik brings it forward. I tell you, this is a completely almost different looking Battery team than we saw 8 weeks ago. The confidence is dramatically different.
And you know, you can't give all the credit to just one person, but Jose Cuevas.
He's in. Griffith has put Cuevas in behind. The shot comes in, it's just wide of the target. Goal kick.
And it's the right idea from Cuevas, too. He gets in behind the defense. Kelly's on the back post, but I think he was in an offside position. Cuevas, running out of room, just has a go at goal, and he made Gilstrap at least think about it.
Here's Portillo for the Battery. Gives it away. I don't know how he didn't see Vincent right in front of him. And Pittsburgh bring it across the halfway line. They've got numbers here. Angulo's in behind. Chance for Pittsburgh. Good save by Cooper, who stretches out to prevent him from going in one-on-one. He was in on goal.
Full sprawl. Jose Angulo, you'd expect him to do better, wouldn't you? Pittsburgh fans can't be too pleased that he didn't have the shot one time.
Lovely work there from Prince. Van Schaik thought about the early ball to Kelly, it's Sanyang now who joins in, turns into a bit of trouble, but keeps possession now with Portillo. Pittsburgh giving it their all, trying to press the battery. And now we'll just have to relax back into their shape. It's with Griffith on this near side. Plays it forward, looking for Kelly to chase that. Away by Pittsburgh. Up to Angulo. Looking maybe a little bit heavy, Angulo, but he got to the ball and he got to a position where he was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but he couldn't just get past the outstretched arm of Cooper.
Yeah, he had a chance to take it sooner, didn't he? And he just passed it up, hoping for that open mouth goal. And Odesmo Cooper, whose first task today.
Yeah, it was a good stop, wasn't it? Oh, lovely from Flunder. He goes around Prince, sets it down the line. There's no one there, and Cooper can pick it up.
Well, that's what it's going to have to be, isn't it, Andrew? Right now, it's been so compact that once you get a little bit of space to take on a defender like Flunder did, you got to do so. And the pass was a good idea, just nobody on the same page.
Big thumping kick out from Odesmo Cooper. It's headed into touch by Pittsburgh. The battery will have a throw in here. We've played 44 minutes. Charleston 1-0 up. Prince plays it forward. It's straight to a Pittsburgh defender who volleys clear. Kerr brings it to the halfway line. Rolls it down the line. Just kept in over there. Maybe a chance for a cross here in the late moments of the half for Pittsburgh. Set back. Chip comes into the back post. Cabrillo peels off. He turns into a bit of trouble, and Charleston just about get it clear. No! Down he goes. The referee points to the spot. It's a penalty for Pittsburgh Riverhounds.
Well, it took him no time to make the decision, and Quentin Griffith stuck in with a leg trailing. And maybe it was just Cabrillo who took advantage of it, saw it right there. And it seemed to me, Andrew, that Colin Falvey might have been there to provide that defensive support. But instead, the referee sees that it's a penalty kick and
golden opportunity for Pittsburgh to pull level. The complaints from the battery players won't matter. And it'll be Angulo to make amends for that one-on-one that he didn't convert a few minutes ago. We're into stoppage time at the end of the first half. Our referee points to the spot. Big chance here for Angulo to pull his side level. Save! Second attempt, it's in! Well, what's the decision here from the referee?
Oh, wow. And what's this going to be now?
Encroachment? Are we going to have another penalty?
What exactly is the problem here?
Yellow card for Odesmo Cooper. He needs to just be careful.
Well, I'm not sure what Cooper's upset with. He did save the first one, but then the second one was put in.
And I think the referee's saying that one of the Pittsburgh players had jumped the gun. So the advantage in that situation is to the battery.
Is it really? Okay.
Well, the advantage there is with the battery in this situation because they're going to have to take the penalty
Sure,
again.
okay, that's...
So there's no real reason for Cooper to complain, but he's been booked for that. And now here's Angulo. What will he do this time? Same spot or the other corner?
Well, if the head games were...
Chance for Pittsburgh. And he does the same thing! And again, Charleston save it. And it's behind for a corner kick.
Unbelievable, and Odesmo Cooper needs to watch out because he's got a yellow already. He just got one.
Absolutely needs to be careful. The players will have a word with him. Big save. You can sort of pity him a little bit because the adrenaline will be pumping, but he needs to be careful. Big save there from the goalkeeper, and the battery deny Pittsburgh twice from the penalty spot.
Unbelievable stuff right there. Odesmo Cooper with ice in his veins.
Charleston in the end kick it out for a corner kick. The referee having a word with the captains, just telling them to relax a little bit here. We're in stoppage time at the end of the first half. Pittsburgh trying to respond. They're a goal down. Angulo had a golden chance. Here's the corner. Good ball in. Headed away by Wilson. Chase is on here. And no, it'll find touch. and it'll be a throw-in for Pittsburgh.
And Charleston counting down the seconds till the whistle blows. This has been a nervous last few minutes for the Battery, who have just been hanging on by a thread.
Well, we said, will he go the same way, Angulo? He did.
Well, you know, he's got that little bit of cheekiness. He tried to take Odesmo Cooper on with that one little extra touch. He tries to go the same spot he did on the second attempt.
Just couldn't get it done. So it ends after 45 minutes, the first half over. The Battery are 1-0 up. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we'll recap the first half here from Blackboard Stadium. Charleston 1, Pittsburgh 0 after 45 minutes here live on ESPN Radio, 9:10 a.m.
America's top travel magazine named Charleston the best city in the nation, so it's no secret that people are flocking here. But people from all over the world come to MUSC for our unparalleled expertise year after year. Maybe that's why so many national organizations invest in our breakthroughs, and why so many of the world's top doctors continue to join us. So while Charleston's magnetic draw may not surprise you, we wanted to remind you about ours. MUSC, changing what's possible.
off foot, but man, you wouldn't be able to tell by the finish. It was wonderfully placed, and plenty of pace on it too. Gorgeous bit of stuff, and for me, Dane Kelly has seemed so calm, so smooth this entire game. He really hasn't forced too much, and as a result, he's letting the game come to him and enjoying himself maybe a little more than some previous other games that he might have been struggling a little bit in the first half. So I think that might actually help him out towards this second 45. We'll have to see. But it seems like both teams coming out with the same 11s that they ended the first half with. And for Pittsburgh, you got to think you want to come out as you did, as you ended the first half. And Charleston was happy to see the first 45 in.
Well, we'll see how the teams approach this second 45 minutes. It's Charleston 1-0 up. Remember, a win tonight, the Battery are in the playoffs. Pittsburgh, well, it's not that simple for them, but they need some points, and particularly with Rochester running away with that game. Where is that game being played? Let me see. It's at Rochester, is it?
It is it's in Harrisburg.
Okay, well, big result that for Rochester, who turned on the goal. They haven't scored many goals this year, Rochester, but 3 tonight. Just looking at the USL Pro Twitter feed, and of course that big headline, saved penalty. Battery's Odisnell Cooper has kept his side ahead here. We'll see how big that save is as the game goes on. Katic, by the way, the coach, is talking to the fourth official here, who's just telling him a few things. Not sure what about, trying to make a joke. I wouldn't be too happy if I was him. 46th minute, Charleston 1, Pittsburgh 0. We're back underway. Pittsburgh with possession, and it goes back to the edge of the 18, all the way back to Gilstrap. No changes for either side after the 45 minutes. Van Schaik digs in and will get called for holding there. Free kick taken quickly out to Kerr. Pittsburgh need to open up a little bit. Down the line it goes for Angulo. Just gets there ahead of Mueller. Has the ball taken from him though. Wilson loops it up the line. Kerr controls. Right-footed ball. Switches it to the back of the 18-yard box. Volleyed up by Quinton Griffith, who has to tackle. It's forced away. It's a good opening passage of play this from Pittsburgh. Out it comes to this near side. Dahlman chips into the box. Falvey wins the header. Cuevas cushions it with the chest, and away he goes now. Looking for the run of Kelly. Kelly holds it up and steps around the last defender. Into the box. Kelly! 2-0!
And it's the Jamaican just doing it all on his own right there. You got to think Coach Anhauser gets the boys in the locker room. We've got 45 minutes to go to secure ourselves a playoff spot. Dane Kelly, we talked about him in the halftime break, seemed so cool throughout the first 45. And right there, he just took Ribeiro to the house.
He squared Ribeiro up, and then he pushed it by him, and Ribeiro couldn't respond.
And for me, Ribeiro's out too far in that position right there. He's one of the last men in defense. And to have him running at you like that, if you get caught, if that ball goes behind you, you're in a load of trouble with no help. So it's a tough decision. His defense and his teammates sort of let him out. But it was a quick trigger, and Jose Cuevas sprung him.
2-0 now. Well, there needs to be a response from Pittsburgh. 48 minutes in. Let's see what they can dig out of the reserve tank. They'll be increasingly tired, won't they, having played last night?
And how deflating is it? You get that little bit of tactics, that little bit of inspiration from Coach Katic, and then you come out not 2 minutes in, you're down 2-0.
Here's Dolman on this near side. Early cross, looking for Angulo at the back post. He got up well, but just mistimed the jump. It's too high for him, and it's behind for a goal kick.
Well, it's no secret who Pittsburgh's going to want to have create those sort of chances, and it's going to be the man in the middle, Jose Angulo. And it's time for the reigning MVP to show his true colors and bring this team from without of the depths.
Yeah, one goal would change it completely. Battery, though, well, they'll be thinking about a third, I'm sure. There'll be no mercy.
Well, we talked about it, Andrew. To start this game off, it was Charleston who really did come out with a very defensive-minded starting 11. You look at Van Schaik, you look at Sanyang and Portillo in the middle, and they've got that trident in the middle of the park, the defensive midfielders to really hold this game down. So with a 2-goal lead, you got to think the personnel that Anheuser has in is just what he would have liked.
Certainly working out right now, isn't it, for Coach Anheuser, as Wilson steps up to win it. He finds Cuevas. Cuevas to Van Schaik, shields the ball, but he can't get it down the line. Dolman doing well there. He got nudged and just does enough to keep it in play. Well done. Here's Kerr now, looking for Dolman to chip in behind. Lovely ball. Chance for Pittsburgh in at the near post. Mueller stabs it away. Back across the middle, headed clear again. And finally lumped clear, volleyed away by Portillo.
And it's always going to be tough for Green to have that on the one touch and, have a couple touches in the box off a ball coming through the air. And for me, you just got to take that one time. It's a difficult technique, but if you get it right, it's phenomenal.
Kelly's on a hat-trick, I'll remind you. We haven't had one this year, I don't think.
Well, other than Cordovez in the U.S. Open Cup.
Cordovez in the Cup, but not in the league. And he'll be well aware of that. He'll be looking to try and find another opportunity to add to his tally. Here come Pittsburgh. Dahlman drives it to the back post. Looked like it came off Griffith last. It's going to be a corner kick for Pittsburgh.
Well, Dahlman, it's not the first time that he's pushed up. He's got himself into an area where he can have a cross in, and I believe he has been one of the main points of emphasis in the attack for Pittsburgh here throughout this opening 50 minutes. And he's going to be the one to take the corner kick all the way on the opposite end.
Well, he's got a good right foot. Let's see what he can do here. Everybody back bar Kelly defending. Here's the delivery. Swung into the middle. Good area. Oh, it came off Mueller in the end. It could have gone anywhere, and it ricochets behind for another corner.
I'm sorry, Andrew. It looked awkward, but he needed to get a touch on it, and just one that shepherds it out into touch, into the end line. It was enough from Taylor Mueller, as ugly as it may have looked.
Over comes Dolman all the way across to this near side. It'll be an outswinger now. Can Pittsburgh pull a goal back? Corner kick for the visitors. We're live on ESPN Radio, 9:10 a.m. It's a little bit flat in at the near post, away by Charleston. Kelly can't get a touch. Pittsburgh get it back wide to Dahlman. Right foot. Cuts it back inside to Kerr. Kerr squares it. Earls, quick feet, pushes it square. Just a little bit further back now. There's the chip forward from Ribeiro. Dahlman in behind and in a space on this near side. He swings it into the back post. Headed down, it strikes Falvey, dives at it. Earls on the strike. Oh! Right, a left-footed shot misses the target.
Oh, and that's disappointing from Earls, isn't it? He has a move on goal. He gets a defender to just stutter a little bit, and he's got a good chance to put one on frame. Instead, just lofts it up a bit, didn't get over it completely, and the Charleston battery off the hook once again. Defensively, they got to shore things up. Pittsburgh's starting to press a little bit here. Of course, they know they need to. A draw, like you said, Andrew, doesn't do much for them, especially with the Rochester result.
If it stands, that game's still in progress. 3-1 Rochester at last glance. Free header there, Cabrillo, but it's Portillo who claims it. Back from Cuevas. Steps up with possession. Turns and goes the other way now to Jose Cuevas. Cuevas into the gap for Kelly, who's offside. He had a look, he knew it, didn't he? Just offside, Dane Kelly. And here comes a change, and it'll be...
Interesting.
Who's coming off? Jared Van Schaik will make way for Adam Menner, and I tell you what, that, I'm sure, is a result of the miles that Van Schaik's put on his legs over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, he's been a busy boy, hasn't he? Just up and down
and he's
the flanks.
He's played every game. He played Sunday and Wednesday.
Yeah, he seems to be one of the most relied upon for Coach Anheuser, not just this year, but last year as well. He was more of a utility man who kind of played all over the place. He's been more strictly midfield in this 2014 campaign, but really one of the MVPs for Coach Anheuser this season.
Throw in here for the Battery on the far side. We're live on ESPN Radio, 9:10 a.m. The Battery are 2-0 up here over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Live USL Pro Soccer for you. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for inviting us into your homes, and also for watching us live on the YouTube broadcasters. Charleston do well there to make some ground. It's over the top for Kelly. He's around the keeper. He's going to get his hat trick. Boom, 3-0.
And Kelly's going to secure the Battery into the playoffs on a hat trick as he kisses the badge. It came from Mena off the first touch of his night, and 3-0 go the Cougars. Gilstrap was caught in no man's land.
The Battery, not the Cougars.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
But it was a former Cougar, Gilstrap in goal. Lovely finish from Kelly. It was really just all about the pace. He got there before Gilstrap. Good first touch, and well, simple finish for him. And that's his hat trick, the first hat trick of the season. First I can remember in a regular season game for the Battery for many, many years.
And it comes just when they needed it most, a chance to lock themselves into the playoffs. And Dane Kelly coming in the clutch. He's got 10 goals on the season. 8 of them have come since Jose Cuevas was inducted back into this team.
Well, it's a long way back now for Pittsburgh. Let's see if they can muster some sort of response. 10 minutes into the second half. Dubious assist committee trying to figure out who got the assist there. Prince is the name that the PA announcer said. We thought it was Adam Mena though, didn't we, Dave?
I did just think it was Adam Mena, maybe just for the storyline of the first touch, and a brilliant one at that. But perhaps it was Zach Prince. If it was, I'm terribly sorry to the CFC grad.
We'll send it to the dubious assist committee and confirm that. 3-0 is the score though. And Kelly having a good night here. Little nutmeg on Zach Prince there from Green. It'll be a free kick for Pittsburgh. And I'm wondering if damage control might be in order here, because there's still a long way to go, and the Battery have got their tail up here.
Well, you got to think, Andrew.
There's a good ball to Angulo, who controls it in the box. Back to goal. Trying to turn. He's being held tightly by Mueller. There's a shot that was a good idea from Vincent, who was using a Battery player to shield the shot there. Actually, it was Fakete, was it, the substitute?
Well, Andrew, it was only 11 game minutes ago that the Battery was seemingly in a very dark spot. 1-0 up, but with Angulo at the penalty spot, looking to tie it up right before half, and now 10 minutes later, the Cougars are up 3-0 and seemingly in the driver's seat.
It was a big moment, wasn't it? That one over the top for Angulo. It's too long, and Cooper will just roll it out past Angulo. It's Griffith now. Charleston will be looking for a fourth. It's Mena, the substitute. Cuts inside, finds Portillo, and Griffith plays it over the top. Headed up and away by Arena.
And you just got to wonder, Andrew, if on the second leg of a doubleheader, back-to-back nights, do you drop the head a little bit, knowing that maybe playoff positioning might be slipping through your fingers?
We looked at the schedule at halftime. Still a game left for Pittsburgh, who play
Wilmington. I
Wilmington
believe.
in the final game of the season. That'll be a must-win game for sure. And they'll be hoping that Rochester don't get the job done tonight. We'll get that score for you as it comes in. It's a good ball in towards Angulo again. Remember, Rochester were 3-1 up at half-time. The Battery 3-0 up here. Is it 4-1 now? 4. Well, that game's over, isn't it? Rochester are going to pick up 3 points, which does not help Pittsburgh's cause. Down goes Kelly. Let's hope he's okay.
Well, he's got his hat trick. No need for him really to be in. He is in.
He's holding his hamstring, and well,
you just got to wonder if it's a cramp, and if Coach Anhauser's a wise boy, which we all know here at Blackbaud Stadium that he is.
Well,
the number 9 will have seen the rest of his night done.
They're going to make a change, but I wouldn't be surprised if Kelly comes off now. He's holding his hamstring, as Cuevas now will make way for Dante Marini. So he gets an early rest, and Kelly's going to come off too to be replaced by Aviel Cordovez.
I mean, those two over the last 8 weeks of the season, it's just been unbelievable the difference in the team with those two coming on. Jose Cuevas obviously was brought back in midway through the season. Dane Kelly seemed to be absent for most of the first season, part of the season, didn't he? He played well, but he just couldn't find the goal. It seemed ever since that Cuevas has been brought back into the system, it's been Kelly who's been the one enjoying it the most.
So a double change as Cuevas exits, Marini comes in, Kelly, the 3-goal hero, the hat-trick man, off, and Cordovez in for a last half an hour. He'll be relishing this. Big driven kick out from a Disnell Cooper, who, well, there's a little storyline there as well. Remember, he saved a penalty at the end of the first half. How different this game might have been. Here's Gilstrap, drives it on the ground. It's given away to Sanyang. Now Portillo. Down the middle it goes to Cordovez. Portillo got caught, didn't he? That'll be a free kick as Earls just caught Justin Portillo after the ball had gone.
And he's got to be careful there. Earl's not on a booking, but a couple other Pittsburgh Riverhounds are. As of a couple minutes into the first half, Portillo, though, so smart. He can get under your skin a little bit with the amount of ease that he has in his game, and we're going to see him right here on the set piece.
I know Coach Anhauser's thinking, let's hope Dane Kelly's okay. 2 weeks until the playoffs start.
Right.
He won't be messing around with that injury. His main man, Kelly. There's the ball in from Portillo. It drops down into the box. It's headed. It's pumped away by Pittsburgh. Headed back in by Griffith. Prince over there, making a nuisance of himself. Back heels it to Cordovez on his left foot. Drives it in, wide of the target. Goal kick.
Cordovez just seeing his counterpart, Dane Kelly, put in a hat trick. He's got some ideas on how to put a couple of tallies to his season mark.
Portillo controls in the midfield. Pushes it wide to Quinton Griffith. Down the line it goes for Cordovez. Turns with possession, looks up. Slips it in for Marini, wide on the far side. Dante Marini on his left foot. Finds Cordovez, top of the 18. Lovely little set. The shot from Prince, straight at Gilstrap.
And it's tic-tac-toe stuff, isn't it, from Charleston, who, it's a good bit of play by Dante Marini. That's a nice run up the pitch from Vincent, isn't it?
Well, you got some help from the referee who got in the way of Portillo. That's a bit reckless over there. It won't matter. It looks like the Pittsburgh player hurt himself in the challenge. It looked like he was trying to foul Griffith, but in the end it's going to be Fekete who's going to require some treatment. Charleston Battery 3-0 up here at Blackboard Stadium with half an hour to go. I think this game, the points are just about in the bag here. Another few minutes. It's going to be very hard for Pittsburgh to come back. Charleston will advance to the postseason. Who will they play? That is the question.
And this was a team, Charleston, that about a month or two ago was dead last.
10 games ago, the Battery were in last place, tied on points for last place in USL Pro. Looked like the season was over, but they went on an 8-game unbeaten run. Lost on Wednesday to end that run in Sacramento, but have come back here tonight, firing on full cylinders. And I would say Charleston will make the postseason now, definitely. And we'll just have to see what happens to Pittsburgh. I mean, it's going to come back to that last game, isn't it?
Yeah, you would have to think so. Wilmington sitting there at 24 points right now.
33 points through 24 games played.
Yeah, 33 at 24 games played, and then you got Pittsburgh at 26 games, so they're at the disadvantage right there.
And after tonight, it'll be 27. They'll have one game remaining, which will maximum points Pittsburgh could gather would be 35. Will that be enough? Remember, Harrisburg losing tonight, it would seem, so they'll have 2 games to play on 34. It's just so tight. It's remarkable the way it's finishing. Of course, the top 4 teams have got it all dusted and done. They're just playing for position at this point. Orange, Orlando, Sacramento, Richmond, and LA Galaxy too. It doesn't look like. I tell you what, I'm looking over at Fekete. He's being helped up, and I don't think he can continue. He was a substitute, wasn't he, at the earlier in the game, and off he goes, just being helped off. That's not good to see.
Well, while we've got a chance, Andrew, perhaps it would be most appropriate to send out our condolences to Yordani Alvarez, who was forced into retirement over the week. Unfortunately, some health circumstances drew him into an early retirement, but what a great career. We got the privilege to watch him here at Blackbaud a couple of times, and man, he could really play in a heavy hit for Orlando City before the playoffs.
Yeah, I saw that. Very disappointed to read that, and certainly we send Yordani our best. One of those Cuban refugees, which Charleston, of course, has had so many over the years, including the 3 that are here with the Battery this year. Who it was funny when we played Salt Lake in the Open Cup last year. It was a massive thrill for Cordovez and Cooper and Chang, all 3 of them, to meet with Yordani Alvarez, and they made a point of getting their photograph taken with him. So very disappointed to read that, and of course we wish him the best as play continues here at Blackbaud Stadium. 65 minutes in, Charleston are 3-0 up. Portillo has it for the Battery and switches play to the far side for Mena. He's got Griffith overlapping. Mena down the line for Griffith. Looks up, chips it into the middle, headed away at the near post.
Oof.
And does it drop for Dante Marini? The shot is blocked. Charleston lining up. It's Mena now to Cordovez. Steps into trouble, and Earls is going to take it away from him, and there's Gilstrap to lump it clear.
And Marini had a nice little diagonal run into the box. Wow, look at that, Johnny Wilson. Talk about old school. How about some new school?
Oh, Cordovez tried to turn it on to his favored left foot, but it doesn't come off, and now Dolman sets it back for Pittsburgh. They're under the cosh here, the Riverhounds. Fekette's come back on, by the way, which is good to see. And here's Pittsburgh now with Earls. Squares it across to Vincent. Being urged to bring it forward. It's cut out there by Sanyang. Portillo to Marini. Sanyang to Portillo again. And Charleston will just possess here if they can and take the sting out of this Pittsburgh response. Pittsburgh still working very hard. As Cordovez heads down, it's gathered up by the Riverhounds.
And a lot of credit is given to Jose Cuevach, which in no doubt he deserves. But Justin Portillo has really made such a big impact in the middle of this pitch. He's such a simple player, such an intelligent player. He really, I mean, obviously, you got to give your respect to Xabi Alonso, but he's got the same sort of playmaking ability. He drops back deep into the midfield, and he's not going to maybe make the pass that leads to the goal, but he'll make the pass that leads to the pass that makes the goal.
There's a giveaway by Pittsburgh. It's played long. Marini controls it. Thought about the first time shot. Oh, he tried to trick past the player. Gets it back to Prince. Prince needs to get it wider if he can. Oh, he goes around the player. Has a look.
Wow.
Goal! 4-0.
And Zach Prince, maybe one of the goals of his season, and as he tucks it away beautifully in the corner for number 4 on the night. And the CFC alum in front of the home fans. He was honored at halftime during the College of Charleston game last night. He'll be honored to have a goal here tonight, the 4th one of the night, and what a beauty it was. It was a good bit of build-up, but you can't say that the 24 didn't make that one all on his own. Dipping and diving some defenders, and then finally has a crack at goal.
Well, I thought he was going to push it wide, which would be the normal decision there, but I think Pittsburgh felt the same. Instead, he just ducked inside, and it was a beautiful shot past a former College of Charleston man in Gilstrap, and Charleston are running away with this one, 4-0. There's still 20 minutes to play. And there's a free kick for Pittsburgh on the far side. I think the result beyond doubt now.
Yeah, without question. You know, Andrew, it's a little unfortunate to see because Pittsburgh perhaps deserved more, especially if you look at that first half performance. They kept themselves in it, but just opening up the second half with a quick.
And the thing, I'm just looking down at the bench, Dane, the thing that happens now is Coach Anhauser has the luxury
right.
of bringing off some of the guys that have worked hard for him over the last week. It's been a grueling week this for the Battery. As I mentioned, it was they left Saturday. Well, played. I'm trying to think. The game before played Friday.
It was a Friday game. Then they played Sunday.
Left Saturday to go to Oklahoma City. Played Sunday. Went to Sacramento, California. Lost that game on Wednesday. Red eye Thursday morning. Get back to Charleston. 1 day of preparation, and then this, and off comes the captain, who has been inspirational in leading this side to where they are now. 69 minutes in, Falvey makes way for Sean Ferguson with his side seemingly on the way to the postseason. 4-0 up here over Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the maturity that Charleston has shown just coming in here and taking care of business. They had a task to do, and they knew they had to come out here, get that first goal, and then defend. They did exactly that. They might have got away with one here in the first half, but since then they have not taken their foot off the gas pedal.
And I doubt they will, as Marini tries to get around Flunder. Foul called against Dante Marini. And Pittsburgh are going to make a change here as Mota Galvan is pulling his shirt on. Who's going to make way? Is it going to be Angulo?
Well, you would be surprised
I think
if it would.
I think it's going to be Kerr. Yeah, it is. So Kerr makes way for Mota Galvan. I'll remind you the goals tonight. Well, it was a hat-trick from Dane Kelly. 38th minute, 47th and 54th to really seal the game and the points. Zach Prince on the 68-minute mark just a couple of minutes ago added a 4th goal. And Charleston have romped home here.
20 minutes of terror for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the terms of Dane Kelly.
I mean, who knows what will happen, but goal difference could come into it. It's so tight. Just, you know, you talk about the run that Charleston have had. Pittsburgh have also had an incredible last few weeks. What is it, 8 wins out of 11 games?
I believe so, Andrew, and it's just been fantastic.
To pull themselves into a position where they're vying for the postseason. They're going to make another change here in a second, but we'll wait for that. But is it too little too late for the Riverhounds? Because with Rochester winning, Wilmington, of course, the wild card, with all those games in hand, they've got 4 games to play. We'll just have to see what they, how they do in those matches. Picked up 4 points on the road last week, which was remarkable, really, considering the circumstances. Here's Cordovez for the Battery to Sanyang, and now Portillo sets it back to Ferguson, who's joined the game now for Colin Falvey, and it's a Disnell Cooper to drill it clear. Headed into the midfield, and Marini will get on the end of it. Looked like a foul there. Play on, says the referee. The advantage called. Griffith brings it forward. Down the line it goes to Mena. Back to Marini. Now Portillo. Switches it across to Wilson. Wilson back inside to Justin Portillo. Quickly across to Griffith. He's in acres of space on the far side. Flunder stepping to him. He's not going to get near him. It's Griffith to the byline. Across it comes. Palmed away by Gilstrap.
And a guy like Quinn Griffith is just going to have a field day against a very tired team. Justin Portillo trying to have a cheeky little one right there.
Here comes the substitution. It was a handball by Portillo. And Angulo wants to come off. But is he going to get the chance? No. He was trying to come off there, wasn't he? The number was held up, but I think there's been a change of plan.
Yeah.
Is it Fakete with the injury?
He's just over here limping by the touchline, and maybe a change of heart for Katic.
Well, I think it's injury, isn't it? So Fakete comes off and Pridham comes on. Not much he can do about that. He went into that challenge with Griffith and came up lame, and well, he soldiered on, but forced off now with just over 15 minutes to play. The Battery, if you're joining us late, 4-0 up thanks to a Dane Kelly hat-trick and a Zach Prince 4th. Remember, the Battery just needed a win to make, I think, guaranteed postseason play. I believe I'm right in saying that. It's pretty close, isn't it?
Yeah, it is close. Not sure. There's a whole long algorithm, I'm sure, to somebody's figured out there. Maybe Dan Conover of CHSsoccernet.net. But there's certainly a multitude of things that could happen between now and the end of the season, which September 7th, I believe it's a Sunday, will be the last day of the USL Pro season. It'll actually be these Pittsburgh Riverhounds closing out the season against the Wilmington Hammerheads. That's their next game on the agenda.
Mena pushes it wide. Here comes Quinton Griffith, running at Green, at Flunder rather, steps inside. Plays it square into the box, just trying to arrow that pass in.
And one of the guys who deserves a goal so much for this Charleston squad, if you've been with them throughout the entirety of the season, is Dante Marini. He's had his chances, hasn't he? And he's come so close, but just hasn't quite been able to do so in front of the home crowd. And Marini still looking for his first point of his professional career. He's certainly come on and played some very useful minutes off the bench here in his rookie year.
I'm just looking at the table here, Dane, sorry, and by my math, with this win, the Battery can't be caught. They'll finish top 8 for sure, because Pittsburgh will not be able to catch them. One of the teams in contention, Charlotte, also unable to catch the Battery. Rochester could, but it wouldn't matter. It would be a question of Rochester and Charleston going through, so I think it's job done tonight for Coach Anhauser with, where are we? 76th minute, Charleston Battery 4, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0. Here come the Riverhounds to the halfway line.
And there really is something to be said, Andrew, about having to come out and win a game and doing it so convincingly. I mean, you think about performance against Sacramento, against LA Galaxy 2, where Charleston had a very good performance. But this, for me, is without question the match of the season for this team in red here today on the home soil.
Here come Pittsburgh trying to get that first goal and try and work their way back into this, but it's tackled away by Portillo and clipped to the halfway line for Cordovez. Can he hold it up and find a teammate? He can't. Loses possession in the tackle. Tackles to win it back. And there's Portillo to just stroke it square to Mena. 76 minutes in, almost 77. The Battery 4-0 up. Thanks for joining us tonight live here on ESPN Radio 9:10 a.m. as Wilson rolls it into the midfield for Sanyang. Back to Wilson, back to Sanyang. Fires it forward to Cordovez, takes the challenge and drops it into the gap, but Mena is offside.
Adam Mena had, I believe, or at least we believe up here in the booth, that first touch that was just absolute magic. Slicing ball over the top, right in the path of Dane Kelly, put right in between Gilstrap and the young Jamaican, and it's pitch perfect from the youngster out of Notre Dame, Vancouver Whitecaps loanee.
Vincent turns with possession inside the center circle, just rolls it square. Charleston still working hard defensively. They don't want to give up a goal, that's for sure. Least of all, Additional Cooper, the goalkeeper, who was brilliant in the first half. He stopped Angulo one-on-one. He stopped Angulo from the penalty spot twice in a row, although Angulo did follow up and finish on the first time, but it was pulled back for encroachment.
Yeah, it
forced to take 2 penalties in a row.
He was put to work 3 times in the first half, really throughout this whole game.
There's a good cross to the back post! Oh!
4 times.
I thought it was in, actually, but it was straight at Cooper, and he just stretched his arms up and grabbed it.
Unbelievable stuff from
good ball in,
Tesla
that.
Cooper. It was a wonderful ball. I believe it was Motaglavan out there.
Motaglavan,
excuse me. Pridham it was with the
Pridham headed it, but couldn't get it past Cooper. It was right at him at the near post, and he just lifted his arms and stopped it. It's a free kick here for the Battery as we hit the 79-minute mark.
And if you're a Pittsburgh player, fan, whatever, you just got to put your hands up in the air and say what else could happen to us. You know, We had the penalty shout in the first half. We had it taken away from us, and then
Here they come, though, down the middle. Pridham, top of the 18. Can't get the shot away. Sorry, Dane.
just a summation of the day for the Riverhounds. Hasn't it been that little last shot on Odesno Cooper?
Still fighting Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Just over 10 minutes to play. Flunder. Up the middle it goes. Now wide to the far side. See if we can get a final score from Rochester for you. I'm sure if you're watching on USL Live, you probably already have it. If you're listening live locally, see if we can bring you up to date. That's a good ball out to this near side. Cross comes in at the near post. Good touch there from the Pittsburgh striker, but he couldn't get it under control. It's behind for a goal kick. Still 4-1 Rochester. What about the Wilmington? Wilmington playing Sacramento tonight as well. Sacramento still in the hunt for first place in the league. 0-0 apparently.
And they're about an hour in, so plenty to play for there over the next half hour.
Remember, Wilmington, the team that beat Orlando 3-1 this week, which gives as well as helping Wilmington's cause no end, it gives Sacramento hope in their aim to try and finish first in their inaugural season in this league, which would be an incredible achievement.
They did start so hot, Orlando City, but there's just been a little bit of vulnerability towards the second half of the season that maybe some of these teams on the lower end might have just a shouting glance at during playoff time.
You don't want to peak too early, do you? It's better to peak in September.
That's right.
Here come Pittsburgh again. The Battery repel the attack. The counter-attack is on here. Marini just sweeps it down into this near side. There was nothing on for him, and just put it out of danger. Gives possession back to the visitors. Fireworks to follow the game tonight here at Blackboard Stadium. If you're listening here on Daniel Island, you can probably see them from your house. Wilson in with a good challenge. Remember, it's Wilson's retirement party next Friday night. He's committed to his retirement now, John Wilson, after turning professional for the Charleston Battery in April 1999. He's finally going to call it a night on the career. Of course, that'll be after the postseason finishes, but they'll be celebrating his career next Friday at the stadium, which will be brilliant, I'm sure.
He has certainly put in. He's a career Battery man, isn't he, Johnny Wilson? And he's made his journey around, but...
Look at him, the likes of him, Dusty Huduk,
right.
Mike Anhauser.
Yep.
Names that will be linked in that respect. Certainly John Wilson.
And he can still probably next year come out and win the fitness test over all these youngsters, too.
He's definitely no slouch. 82nd minute, Charleston Battery 4, Pittsburgh 0 the score. Battery are going to pick up the 3 points and advance to postseason play. Pittsburgh, well, they're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, a lot to be said between now and their last game of the season, which will be played in a week's time.
There's a little chip ball forward. Wilson is across on the cover. Brings it wide and will earn a throw in. Of course, Wilmington, Pittsburgh could still catch Wilmington, depending on what happens with the Hammerheads. That game could be really interesting. The final game of the season. I think that's in Pittsburgh, isn't it?
I believe so, yes. It will be in Pittsburgh, so they'll have the home field advantage right there on the river.
Be like a playoff game, that for sure, as Charleston head clear, but only as far as Pittsburgh on this near side. Vigara slips it into Vincent. Showed a bit too much of that to Prince. Sanyang dips in, but he can't get there. And Motogalvan claims it. Here's a strike from distance. Goal kick. The Battery home next Friday night to take on Harrisburg City Islanders. Harrisburg will need to win that game. Still in with a shout, Harrisburg. They're on 34 points. They got beat tonight by Rochester.
Yeah, Harrisburg was one of those teams a couple weeks ago that seemed to be destined for a playoff spot, didn't they? And they've had a bad stretch of form that has really set them back, and now they're going to have their work cut out for them here on Friday.
Here's Cordovez going in behind the defense. He's going to hit it. Well, he hit it well, but well wide of the target. Goal kick.
And we've seen success come from this near gap over here as Evio Cordovez just trying to recreate some of the magic that Dane Kelly had earlier in the second half. Unfortunately for the Battery, though, couldn't quite swipe it on goal.
Charleston Battery 4, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0. It's been quite a night for Dane Kelly, who scored a hat-trick. He left the game holding his hamstring. We hope he's okay. They're going to need him at the Battery in the postseason. As Wilson tries to work himself into a position where he can clear this.
Oof. Oof.
Still working hard.
Have a look.
And still.
Have a look.
And now here's Ferguson. Nice work from the veteran to Griffith. On the ground to Marini. Oi, a little bit heavy, but no foul. It'll be a throw-in for the Battery on the far side.
He does just throw himself around out there, doesn't he, Dante Marini? He's not the biggest guy on the field ever, but he certainly does have a very little regard for his own well-being.
Good header back there for Gilstrap. Time ticking away for Pittsburgh. I don't see a way back for them here. They're still pushing forward, looking for that first goal of the night. There's a nice work from Mueller to find Sanyang. Now Mena. Back to Ferguson. Well, Griffith was begging for it. He was making a run from the fullback position, but he never got the pass.
Yeah, Griffith, he's never shy to have a little sprint down to the end line.
Now here's Sanyang to Prince. Chipping it through for Portillo, who's done a lot of running tonight. Give chase. Oh. Pittsburgh deal with it, though.
Griffith reminds me of the guy in elementary school who would always want to race you because he knew he was always going to win. Just so full of running over there on that far side, and all too often it's the defenders who know they've gotten themselves into a bit of trouble when they find themselves in a foot race.
Yeah, solid performance tonight from Griffith, largely untroubled, to be honest.
Well, he did have the penalty, who could have really narrowed this game, but seemingly to me it didn't seem like a whole heck of a lot.
Here come Pittsburgh pushing forward from the back. They get it wide. A chance for Green to cross here. Chips in at the near post. Too close to Cooper.
Yeah, that's just disappointing there, Green. You want to whip one in, give your attackers a chance to have a go at it in the 6-yard box, and instead he just dinks one over the top. And it's never going to trouble Odesmo Cooper, who's had much more to deal with here tonight.
Free header there at the halfway line, but it pops down nicely for Mena. Now Portillo. Backwards to Ferguson.
Well, Andrew, I don't think it's any debate on who the man of the match is going to be here tonight.
It has to be Kelly with the hat-trick. So rare, and 3 good goals as well. Here's Griffith for Charleston, who could add a 5th if they keep pushing. 4,161 the attendance tonight, 4,161 at Blackboard Stadium.
Irish Night always does draw a nice crowd, doesn't it?
It's a good square ball here for Prince. Prince on his left foot, it took a deflection. Cordovez comes to collect it. Turns, sets it inside. They're lining up in the middle. Mena can't get there. And Pittsburgh can get it clear out here. And they have a 3-on-3 here late in the game. Good ball wide to the far side. Angulo running at Ferguson. Got the shot away. It's a tired shot from the striker into the parking lot. That's a goal kick.
That does hurt, especially with the memory of a couple goal-scoring opportunities in the first half that he let slip through his fingers. And the reigning MVP, he's had 8 goals this season, but it's been a certain dip of form since last year. And Jose Angulo just topping it off here tonight with Another frustrated performance.
Had his chances, though. You have to be honest. He had a couple of good chances. One from the spot, and one when he was one-on-one with the keeper. Earls for Pittsburgh just spreads it wide to the far side. Motogalvan was asking for it to be played in early. He still wants it. He's got his hand up. Here comes the cross now. It's a bit flat and it's away by Mueller. And kept alive for Pittsburgh here in the 89th minute. They're still trying. Vincent now just plays it inside. Tackles coming in the midfield, but it's Pittsburgh who maintain possession. And Prince, who's going to go 90 minutes tonight, gets the tackle in himself. And here comes another change for the Battery. It'll be John Wilson to get some applause, I would think, here.
Well, you would certainly hope to hear the home fans give it up for.
There you go. Round of applause for John Wilson as he makes way for Emmanuel Ajeti. Of course, a crowd favourite in these parts. Even the Pittsburgh coaches clapping him off the field. Penultimate regular season game of a long career for John Wilson.
A sign of respect there from Nico Cottage. Hats off to him, and a classy move from Coach Anhauser to take Johnny Wilson off for the second to last standing ovation from this black-bought faithful squad.
John was a teammate, of course, of one of the Pittsburgh ownership group, Jason Cutney. Jason was a rookie when John was a veteran.
I think a lot of guys can say that, huh?
Yeah, no longer playing, of course. John Wilson, 1999 with the Battery, played with Kansas City, won an MLS championship in 2000 with the Battery for the championship in 03, moved to Rochester for a year and then DC United, returning to Charleston for the 2008 Open Cup run to the final. Battery lost that game and then won 2 championships late in his career in 10 and 12 with Charleston to cap it all off. And would love to add another one this year. We'll see if that happens or not. Looks like they'll be in the playoffs though, regardless, which is mission accomplished, I would think. Marini working hard to try and get on the end of it. He put his foot in there. The foul is called. Free kick Pittsburgh. We're in time added on at the end of the game. The Battery are going to win this game 4-0. At least there's still a bit of time, unless Pittsburgh could perhaps pull one back. We're in stoppage time at the death. And it's been a great performance tonight from the Charleston Battery, the home side. We're live on ESPN Radio, 9:10 a.m. Pittsburgh trying and find that little consolation goal. It doesn't happen there as Ferguson steps out of the back with the ball and still comes here. Leaves it forward for Marini, who got caught as he broke the tackle. Free kick Battery.
And how about Sean Ferguson galloping upfield? The big boy showing he's got some touch to his game.
He's going to stay forward here.
Not much of a incentive to, other than maybe just to pad the stats a little bit. But hey, with a run from the back like that, maybe he's earned it as he's keeled over, hands to knees. A little tired. It is still hot here. It is August in Charleston after all, no matter how much the humidity dips.
Griffith down the line now to Mena, back to Quinton Griffith. And all the way back to Mueller. Squares it to Ajeti. Inside to Sanyang. Pressure from Pittsburgh, just trying to chase the ball a little bit here. It's played back to the goalkeeper. And Charleston clip it to the halfway line. Cordovez leans in, but he doesn't get there, and Pittsburgh find the loose ball. Remember, it was a former Battery player, Justin Evans, was coached this team in the early part of the season, was relieved of his duties after a slow start.
Well, Kadich has certainly come in, taken the reins, and secured his spot for quite a while. This is going to be an interesting Pittsburgh team to watch next year, as Kadich will have his hands on the clay from the start of the season.
Well,
we'll be able to mold him into shape.
Assuming they stick with him, we'll see. There's the final whistle, Dane. 4-0. Charleston Battery prevail. They pick up the 3 points. I think that's enough to secure postseason football. Handshakes at the halfway line. And, well, let's not forget the hero tonight, Dane Kelly.
Dane Kelly, absolutely brilliant. Heroic performance from the Battery's hero up top. Really has turned it on late on in the season. He's getting a deserved handshake from the coaching staff of the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Cuevas had a nice game, but Kelly stole the show. 3 goals in the span of, I think, about 21 minutes. So he lit it up. It was a night of terror for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, who could not deal with the speedy Dane Kelly burning past the defenders.
Gil Stratwell, he had a great first half, didn't he? But in the end, Kelly's persistence paid off, and 3 goals for Dane Kelly. A hat-trick for the Battery's Jamaican striker. And let's hope he's okay. He was holding his hamstring as he exited the game. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll have the post-game show here from Blackboard Stadium. Charleston Battery 4, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0. There's fireworks to come at Blackboard Stadium, and much more to come from us here. We'll say goodnight to those of you who joined us on the USL Pro broadcast. But for those of you listening locally on ESPN Radio, 9:10 a.m., stay with us. We'll be back after these words.